Hi everyone and welcome to Leslie Ray's Scrappy Gig. My name is Leslie Ray and this show is all about scrapbooking. Tonight I nicknamed this show Make Mine a Mini. I love scrapbooking. You all know I love scrapbooking, but I love little albums. They're lots of fun. One day we might make something to fit in like this, that might be fun, but we're not doing that today. Today, in the spirit of small, I have a couple of ideas. This is kind of how I planned some of my favorite minis that I like to share. So what I would like to do is kind of see if any of y'all have ever done mini albums. Does anybody like minis? And I mean, when I say mini albums, I mean like smaller than 6x6. Me. Yes, Mommy, of course. Because you've been with me when I've done them too. And some you've done without me. The smallest you've done is 4x4. Well, one of them that I want to do today, technically you could wear it around your neck if you wanted to, because it's going to be this size. And if you saw me cutting this before you came in, this is 2 inches by 2 inches. And this is not the smallest I would have ever done, but it's definitely a fun one. You've never done one, Cheryl or Edie? Well, these are fun. These are fun for lots of reasons. If you wanted something to wear around your neck and keep with you, this would be cool. And that's what my plan is for this one. Is I plan to make this one like a little Mother's Day necklace. Is what I plan to do with this one. But also, if you were doing a scrapbook page and trying to get lots and lots of pictures in there, for instance, I take tons of pictures of flowers throughout the spring. You could make little books. Like this could be a book that's all about the sunflowers, and it can show the baby sunflowers coming up, and it can show the sunflowers at the height of the season, and it could show them when they're dwindling and dead. Those of you who follow me notice, I have a lot of sunflower imagery, and this one could be, your whole page could be on spring, and this could just be sunflowers, and then you could have another one for poppies, or another one for the bluebonnets, or, something to that effect. Guys, I'm watching my stream over here. Hang on. I was going to keep some stuff open so that I could get to it, but I'm going to turn it off because it's telling me I'm having bandwidth issues, so let me move that down. Hi, Molly. Welcome. Yes. And you could do one, Bev is saying you could also tie and cross stitch and do an ornament that size. Exactly, Bev. You could make it an ornament for your tree. There's tons of things you could do with this. These are really, really neat. Or you could do something that is about your tree each Christmas and put them on your tree as little mini books. Like we were talking with the squash book idea and having those hanging on your tree. Hello, Terry. You could do that with these. You could have them, little books put together hanging on your tree. So that's what I like about these. One I want to make is about this size. Now, this is the other thing. These are just some random coasters that I have that I believe Mommy got us these when we first got our Bind-It-Alls. But they're regular size coasters. So like if you, well, actually, let's see. Yeah, it's a regular size coaster. So this is a coaster. This is a coaster I stole from the bar. And this is a coaster I got from my mom. Do I like to laminate the smaller books? Or do I like to laminate the coasters? Yes, Mommy is Leslie's mom. That's Paula Harris. That's my mommy. The books. No, I usually don't laminate them, Bev. And they really hold up better than you would think. So, some coasters. Whenever I go to restaurants, I stash like a stack of these, and if they're in different shapes, then all the better. So that's my tip for you, for your frugal crafting, is to grab these wherever you can. This book here, this first one, is a round coaster that was at the restaurant that we frequent at lunch. And this very next one that's oblong, let's see, this is square, this is oblong. This one is also a coaster. It was just a different shape. So, yes. Borrow coasters, make them prettier. Alright? So, keep that in mind. Coasters are a good way to go. Yes, borrow the coasters. Snag some coasters while you're at it. I have a machine, Edie, that I'm going to show you in just a little bit when we play with the coaster book that I'm going to do. Yes, so far you snag some coasters, and then and I use the Bind It All, Edie, to get the spirals in there. And that's what we're going to do with the book that we're going to do with this. If you want to follow along and you don't have some coasters that you have, see, these are non-snagged coasters. These were paid for coasters. If you have some coasters, you don't have coasters, get some chipboard or bookboard, or get just some cardboard. These pieces are too small for what we're going to do, but and cut them about 4x4. Okay? And another great tool is if you don't have readily available coasters and you do cut them 4x4, is get yourself one of these bad boys. Because look at this. This is my book board, guys. You know about the book board. See how thick it is? This is the regular cardboard, okay? Regular cardboard, book board. Alright? You stick this in here. And I think these come in 2 sizes. This one's the 1/2-inch one. And you crimp it. Cut you a corner like butter. Like butter. No, this is not a crocodile. This is the Zutter Round It All. And this one is the 1/2-inch. Let's see, it says on there 1/2-inch. And I think there might be a 1/4-inch. And this will cut through very, very, very thick plastic. You know, like what I was doing some of my my cards, some of my ATC cards with, that kind of acrylic plastic. It is really, really heavy duty. It just crimps it off. Yes, the 1/4-inch is blue. Thank you, Raven. And, I mean, I like the smaller, I mean, really, people? How easy is that? I like the smaller, or the 1/2-inch round. It's just a nicer round. I think the 1/4-inch goes real short and real short. But anyway, this round kind of matches that round. So if I had to make one, I would have one. But so get you some 4x4 squares. If you don't have a rounder, that's okay. And then your other pieces of paper, I've cut a couple of pieces of paper that are 7.5 by 3 3/4, and I'll give you those measurements again later. Okay, thanks, Mommy. But start with 7.5 by 3 3/4 if you're going to make a 4x4 one like this with me. Okay, So that's just a little getting started on gathering some supplies that some people might want to use. I'm going to give a giveaway today that is not related to the scrapbook challenge. It's just a giveaway for coming to my show. And what I'm going to do is every book that we get made, I'm going to assemble a little kit and put that with it so that you will draw and you can make your own when you get home. So so you may, if you win the one with the coasters, you may get some True Orange coasters or True Lemon coasters. I don't know. Or you may get some, you know, unsolicited plain ones. So, alrighty. My plan is to make 3 of them. 3. So that might be as many as 3 giveaways. So we're going to start with the first one. And this one, like I said, is 2 by 2. Now, if you wanted to make a squash book for this, you could start with your 4 by 4 paper and make this into a squash book. And that is one example of a mini album. We've already discussed that at length, I believe. Now, if you don't want to make a squash book and you want to make just a regular book, what you need is some white cardstock. And this is just some plain white cardstock. It's not fancy at all. And because this is 2 by 2, ooh, sorry. Edie, maybe Mommy or Amanda or somebody can go onto my Ustreams and give you a thingy. I think it was last Scrappy Gig we did a squash book so that you could get extra pictures in it. No, not a smash book, a squash book. Smash book is different. Some people call them explosion books. So, anyway, these are 2 by 2, and so I'm going to make my pages be 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. No, not 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Don't cut 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Cut 2.5 by 1 3/4. I'm sorry. Okay, cool, Mom. No. Okay, we're going to try that again, guys. I've got this cut wrong. Okay. If you were 1 3/4 times 2. Yes, I'm cutter challenged today. My brain is not as sharp as it should be. And I apologize. Okay, 1 3/4. So 3.5. 3.5 by 1 3/4. Okay. 3.5 by 1 3/4. If somebody wants to write that into the little room, that's going to be the size of your pages for your for this mini. Thanks, guys. And this can be as wide as you want it to be. And I believe Dawn has made a book similar to this. But the first book I ever made like this was made with little bitty pages. Okay, I'm going to use 6 of these. That's going to be my starting And what I'm going to use, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, or I'm going to fold these in half. And when I send this kit to you, I'm not going to have them folded in half already. I will let you fold them in half. Yeah, I know. I don't have to do the 420 because I can hallucinate things just on like Tylenol, cold, and flu. So, yeah. One day I felt the sinus crap coming on. And I had never taken Tylenol, cold, and flu, but I had Bill stop by Walmart. We were fixing to go out to my friend's farm. We were taking care of her horse and some peacocks and stuff and our dogs and cats out on her farm. And, of course, you know, I love being outside, but the outside is really going to kill me one day. And so I thought, okay, let's get some Tylenol, cold, and flu. I'll try that. And so I took the minimum dose, which I think was like 2 pills. And by the time we had driven about 30 miles out of town, I was feeling kind of strange. And I wasn't really sure what the problem could be. And so I got, you know, to looking at what, you know, I had been doing and whatever, and it had to be that. But here's the problem. I get to the farm, and I already have kind of a phobia of horses. To me, the best horse is the one that's on the other side of the fence. And I get there, and this horse, Gretchen was her name, always would run up to you. Run up to you. As fast as could be. And that's why I always took Bill to do this job, because horses freaked me out on a good day, let alone on a drug-induced day. And I got there, and of course Gretchen comes barreling up to us, happy to see us, because she's always happy to see us. And she almost ran into us. She was going so fast. And I was like, whoa! Oh my God! And everything was just super high sensory for me that whole day. And then we leave, and we're driving down the road, and it's dark, and it's in the fall, so you have to watch out for deer. I mean, you have to watch out for deer anyway, but you had to really watch out for deer. And I'm looking out the window, and I see the streaker lights. Edie, okay, I folded my 3.5 by 1 3/4, okay? And I ran them through my Xyron, so now they're sticky on one side. But they're still folded. I didn't run them flat, I only ran them folded. Okay? Because then what I'm going to do is stack them. I was waiting to stack them, Edie. I was going to finish. But anyway, I kept seeing the streaker lights, like if we were going like 100 miles an hour. But we were only going like about 35, 40 miles an hour. And I look out the side window, and I swear to goodness, I thought there was a pink polka-dotted elephant walking down the street. I swear. I still think it was something. Bill said it was nothing. I said, he looked at me. He saw the look on my face, and he was like, what? And I said, did you see it? And he's like, did I see what? And I said, did you see anything? Just tell me if you saw anything. And he said, I didn't see anything. I was like, are you are you kidding me or what? And he's like, no, I didn't see anything. And, yeah, we went through, cougar, bobcat, anything? No. It's like, okay. He's like, what did you see? And I said, I saw a pink polka dotted elephant walking down the street. And he goes, and you thought that was normal? I'm like, no, not really. But, it was there, I swear. So I get home, and by the time we get home, my nose is numb. I can't feel my nose. I can't feel half of my face. And I call my mom. Mom, oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong with me. And she's like, why did you think you could take that? And I said, I don't know. And she's like, don't do that. Don't take that. That was Tylenol, cold and flu, Edie. I'm a serious lightweight when it comes to drugs. And so my kids have been taking Alevert, a very low dose of Alevert. And I took one of those today because I can't complain about having sinus problems unless I take one, because the first question is, well, did you take something? And so if I don't, then I don't get to complain. So I took something, and I'm really thirsty, really, really thirsty. And yeah, I feel drugged. I'm not seeing elephants this time, but apparently I can't add numbers. No hallucinating. No hallucinating, just can't add. And I'm usually pretty good at math. So, as you see, this really comes together pretty easy when you run them halfway through the Xyron. Is Vedette here? Hi, Vedette. Welcome. And I'm just lining these up. I'll pull one up closer. You can see. It's sticky on this side not sticky. And I'm just lining them up. And if I get them stuck on here like I just did, because I can't do this up in the air very well. Ooh, kitty fishes. I'm not sure what we're having. I think Bella's going to make a special sandwich. Okay. I'm going to line these up. There we go. Now they're lined up. And stick them down. Okay? Did you, Terry? Cool. They used to have a template for it, in all kinds of different sizes. But the one I have a template for is even smaller. So, you have a real little easy book, right? Yeah, you could use regular double-sided tape. If you had Miracle Tape, that would be an excellent use for that. My Miracle Tape was going to be a little too small for my book. I just wanted my adhesive to completely cover my book. So you could use the sheets or use like a 2-inch tape. Miracle Tape would be great. Let me see if I still have that on. Right click. Paste. Ah, I do. And this month, you will want to get your Miracle Tape through there. There is free shipping, and that coupon or that link is a link to the April newsletter, and there's free shipping. Now, if you want to use the Xyron like I used, Mommy sells the refills and also sells the machines. They're not on the website. You have to special order them, but she will order them for you. First time you've seen this little mini? Well, I'm so pleased, Molly. So pleased. Now, I'm going to use just a random piece of paper that was sitting here by my stuff out of that die cuts with a view pad. Just because I want to show you how easily you can cover this. Now, when you go to cover this, you will want to know this information. You're going to cut your outline slightly larger than the covers. You want it to be as deep or as wide as your little book. So look at the edge of your little book, and it's going to go right there. Now you could put in here a little skinny piece, and I think I'm going to. Oh look, here's a little skinny piece right here. Just sitting there. I think that might be too wide though. Yeah, that skinny piece is too wide. Needs to be a little bit skinnier. So I'm going to cut it a little skinnier. Okay? Shh. I'm streaming. Thank you, Sam. I have to straighten that with a pair of scissors. Hang on. What are the size of the covers? Since our covers are 2x2, Molly, the cover for the covers is going to be, I'm going to do like 2 3/4 just to give it a decent, here, let me do 2 3/4. Okay. I'll run I'll just use this tape here. I'm peeling the tape off. Sorry, guys. Hang on just one moment, please. I'm going to put y'all on hold. Just one moment. We're taking a small break. Hello, I'm back. I'm putting double stick tape on the back side. anybody would like 2 children, I'm thinking of putting them up for sale. Hi, Don. Something like that, Bev. Okay. And what I'm doing is I'm just centering these on here so that I will have them where I need them. You're getting no takers either, Amanda? Okay. So, I got lots of extra tape on that one. How did I know? What I did for the 2x2 is I just took it down 1/4 of an inch because that's how I like them. Oh no, Jen, that's horrible. Horrible. Okay. So here's, and if I wanted to, I could drag my cutter back out, but I'm going to hold my mouth right and do this. Okay? So I have these here. I would hope the FBI was involved. They need to be. You know, I'm not trying to make excuses, but things are so different right now than they were, you know, years ago. And people will do things for the most wrong reason. I mean, people tell me things like that, and it shocks me in one breath, but at the same time, you know, I'm not sure what motivates people. And I cut these ends up here so that I can fold this up like this. Okay, so this is basically what we have right now. Now, what I'm going to do, because this is going to fit, let me trim around the paper because I'm not ready to stick it down. But I want you to see how it fits. Hi, Pam. Bye, Pam. Sam, go see something is on in the kitchen, please. This is going to fit kind of in here. Okay. I can't get anybody to check my kitchen. Hang on, guys. I smell something in the kitchen. There shouldn't be something in there.
On it.
Did you turn something on?
No.
Go check right now. Okay. Right. So you could do it like 1/4 inch thinner, Edie, if you wanted. It depends on how you want your cover to be around your book. If you want your cover to be 1/4 inch, See, mine, when I pull this around, it's going to be about 1/4 inch around. Okay? So it just kind of depends on how wide around you want your cover to be around your book. I just happen to like 1/4 inch. So for my 2x2, this is 1 3/4 across. So if it was 3x3, I'd probably do 2 3/4 across. Because that, to me, is the attractive width of the book I like. Okay? I'm putting more double stick tape on the inside, and I'm going ahead and covering the whole inside. You could just put a thinner double stick tape down if you wanted, but this size to me works the best because I want to keep my pages down as well, not just my cover. Like I said before, I love these little books because, especially in mixed media and making of altered books and things like that, this is an easy little book to make, and it's very cool. So I've just folded up that edge. Fold up that edge. I'll fold up this edge. Now, if I had been thinking, I would not have cut my miter all the way to the corner of my book. I would have left it about 1/8 of an inch out, and this would have been covered up. But since I wasn't, I'll cut a piece to go there. Sorry, guys. I will give y'all better directions on like a little sheet or something in my blog post, because I might use this for something, and I will give you better instructions on the measurements there. Oh, I know. It's not normal that I'm so wonky on how I cut things. I usually am on top of that more, Edie. It's just today I've got the sinus head. Oh no, you're definitely not the only one who makes mistakes, and especially on live stream. But honestly, I would rather see someone make a mistake and correct it, because then I learn how to correct it when I do make a mistake. But also, you know, if everybody's so perfect, why are we bothering doing classes? So it's all a learning experience. Okay, so here's the back of my book. Okay, I'm going to cut some 2-inch squares real quick to go on the inside. I like that paper. I wasn't sure I was going to like that paper, but I do. Y'all saw my post earlier today at after lunch. Sam was cleaning up in the office, and she was singing, "It's getting shiny, shiny." So we were getting shiny. No, Amanda, it wasn't FUBAR. It was the show that was brought to you by the letter F. Hey, Molly. At 6 o'clock, if we're not doing anything, I will have my phone with me. We could watch it there. Yeah. I don't know if we'll get Wi-Fi, but I can. I know my phone will have reception probably. I hope. But yes, Molly and I get a fun opportunity to meet each other in real life. My son is doing a shooting sports activity that will be a little bit closer to where she is, and so we're gonna go hang in Brownwood for a while. Yeah, since I will be there from about 7:30 in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night. And no, he's not shooting the whole time. It's just that many kids. Oh, cool, glitter. Are going to be there, and they have to get through all of them. They only let the kids do 2 events. And like last year, one of Will's events was in the morning about 10, and the other one was after lunch. And if you've ever been anywhere with the kids having, oh snap, how silly am I? Hang on. With the kids having to not have any kind of sugared drink, no Gatorade, no Powerades, no sodas, no nothing, until after they are done shooting, then you haven't lived.
Mommy, you can't have Gatorade. You can have Gatorade.
I'm being corrected from the bathroom. Would everybody like to see Will in the bathroom? They need to be quiet. Yeah, I know. Right? It's because I'm being corrected from the bathroom that I'm getting my measurements wrong. That's what we'll go with. Yeah. Thank you, husband. Cool. Thank you, husband. Thank you. Everybody say hi to Bill. Okay. Everybody says hi, Bill. this is very sticky stuff.
I'm taking this too slow because I need extra crowns. That's what my boy said. I need more crowns to color with because today is Sharpie Day because I have
Okay. Normally, if we had mitered this correctly, you wouldn't be putting another 2x2 square on this, okay? I put that on there because I mitered too closely. And see, you can even see the corners here. And a little bit of ink will hide that, okay? So, just a little bit of ink will make it all better. So, the last thing we need to do is position this where we want it. And we're going to want it to go about like this on here. And then close. And I had a little give in my book. And so that will kind of show right there. Now, before you completely smush this all down, some thoughts. If you wanted to, on the back of your book, you could poke some holes with some eyelets here and here and fix this where it would affix to a string and hang. So it could be a necklace, okay? No, it's not a squash book. This is not a squash book. It's not a squash book, Edie. This is just a little mini book. Squash book's different animal. Okay? Now, or if you wanted some special closures, you could have, before you stick this down, because remember this would normally be just, you know, sticky stuff, okay? Before you stick this down, put a ribbon through here and put this here so that when you close it, it would tie.
It would tie up.
Okay? So, this one I just want to be a little book and close normal. I'm fine with that. I'm going to put my adhesive on the other side that doesn't have adhesive.
Daddy? Daddy?
Because one side already has adhesive, this side does not. Nope, squash book's a completely different animal. Some people call them explosion books, Edie. I am teaching classes online, Bev. I'm teaching one right now to you. Oh. I used to teach this class in real life. I used to teach a scrapbook class about once every other month. 2 people. The only difference is that I would work real hard, get all my kits together, have it available, and then like I would have it ready for lots of people, like, you know, 8 to 15 people, and 2 would show up. And I would have had all those kits that I made. And, you know, I started watching people stream and thought, that's really cool. I really like that. Wouldn't that be cool to do myself? And I wouldn't have to prepare a whole bunch of kits, you know. I could do some kits and then have them available. But we've even put together a couple of kits for this. And people didn't buy them. So, you know, we might sell one. And so I don't think we're going to do that as much anymore. Unless I get really popular. And then people want lots of kits. But right now people don't want kits. They want techniques that they can do themselves. Look on my Ustream. It should be about 4 down, Molly. 3 or 4 down. It'd be a scrappy gig. How much were the kits? One kit we did was about $8. And one kit we did was maybe 15 or so. I can't remember for sure. So, yeah. Yeah, they were cheap. And because I didn't think people would want to do a $45 kit. So I glued the outside 2 pages to the cover. Yes. They're glued to the cover. They kind of do not touch this back piece. You see that? You can see down in there. So, but anyway, I'm going to send you the person that we draw for this one. This is Booko number 10, okay? I'm going to send you pages to go in the inside. And I probably, in hindsight, as wide as I made this, I would probably do a few more pages. Probably do at least 2 more, okay? Because you can put as many pages as you want to in here. And then once you have it like this, you could stamp these. You could make mini art journals with these. Wouldn't that be cute? You could do little mini Zentangle books with these. If you have little kids, you could do little books for different letters. Put little pictures in here, whatever. I'm going to do one for some flowers because I like flowers. Okay? So remember, there's options how you can finish off the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, your kit will have the book board. It'll have your pages in white. And I'll have you some random bits of paper that you can have too. And then I'll include like some eyelets or beads and that kind of fun stuff that you can doll it up and some ribbon to make a closure with it. So, alright. That's book number 1. I know, it's a sweet little book. Okay, book number 2. Now that you've all left and gone to the bar and came back and you have your coasters, we can proceed with book number 2. Reboot your computer, Jen. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Okay. Now this is a very, very simple book, okay? So you got out your papers. And this one, since my coaster is 4x4, I cut several papers 3 1/4 or 3 3/4 wide by 7 1/2 long. Okay. And these long ones I'm folding in half. Yes, leaving a 1/4 inch shorter. And you can build this book the same way, smaller, you know, just leave 1/4 inch shorter. So I've got 4 pages that are like that I want to include. And then I've got a couple of pages here that are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So they're the size of the page when it's not. Right. That's just my rule of thumb, Edie. I like a book that's that size. Now, these that I folded in half, I want to come in with my 1/4 inch tape, or you could use 1/8 inch tape. Ooh, let's use 1/4 inch tape. I don't think I'm that good tonight to use 1/8 inch tape. I'll use 1/4 inch tape. You could use tape runner, Molly, if you have a skinny tape runner. You could use, if you have one of those guns, you could use that. I don't have a gun. I don't want a gun. And I'm just putting it along the edge. And I'm just putting it along one side, okay? And I'm going to close. So I have like this weird pocket, okay? So we're going to make 4 of those. Oh, hi, Elisabeth. I'm sorry you got booted. I'm glad you got in. Hi, Carrie. Okay, again. And you can embellish these any way you want. You can add, you know, make them theme albums. You can make them, you know, some interactive pages in your scrapbook. Speaking of scrapbooking, does everybody know what May 5th is? Random quiz them on the air question. What is May 5th? Woohoo! Bev, do you know what May 5th is? It is National Scrapbooking Day. And on the Paper Mood channel, which is where the Odd Show hangs out, because we're really odd, we will be having a Scrap-O extravaganza. It is also Cinco de Mayo, so we may be having margaritas for Scrapbook Day. Wouldn't that be fun? Woohoo! Sorry if you have your headphones on. In the Link 2 room, yes. So we can come and go. An extravaganza. Okay. So you have these little pages. And you can put your random individual pages in there too if you want to. Okay? I'm just kind of sticking them in there. And then you've got your kivers. See where I'm going with this, folks? And then you get out your handy dandy all-purpose Zutter cutter. Okay? And I am going to center my coaster, and this is why this is great with the 4-inch coaster. Ag! Okay, that shouldn't happen. Alright. Center my coaster. And I've got my handle out here. Okay, so I've got my coaster centered. I'm going to go like, excuse me, I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to keep my fingers out of the way because I don't know if you saw that right there. That will smush your fingers. And it cuts these lovely holes. And I will yell out loud, help, 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 according to my daughter. Actually, that's probably not what I would yell out loud, but we'll pretend, okay? Yes. So, cha-cha. This will cut through CDs. This will cut through all kinds of groovy stuff. Now, here's where the fun begins. Remember our little pockets. If I put their holes on this side, like this, again, lining up in the middle, they're going to be here on our book, okay? And they will have open up here at the top. So we can shove stuff down in them there. But that's just a random one. Okay. But we could turn them, in which case we wouldn't have had to glue them down. And we can play with this side here and make it an open pocket, which I want to do with one of them. So I'm going to make me a stack of how I want them to open. Most of them I want to make into regular pockets. So, but one in the middle I want to have it open differently. So I'm going to stack them that way, stick them all in here. And voila, we have holes. Okay? So we're all holy. And probably also what I want to do, just because looking at how the thing was doing, I think I want to come in and trim my edges as well, just to make it look prettier. We gave away a car, Jen. I know you missed it. I'm sorry. Just kidding. We didn't give away a car. I did get a new car, though. New to me.
It's blue with my own door and my brother's own door.
Did you get that? It's blue with her own door and her brother's own door. Okay. Sam.
Yes.
Would you hand me one of the boxes of coils that's in there? Okay. Now, things to think about. Before you slap this all together, maybe you wanted to cover these. Okay? Sam, right here in the orange box. I just need a bag. Maybe you wanted to cover them with paper or whatever. when I send you this kit, I'm going to already have it
Mama,
together.
The bag.
But you will be able to undo it really easily. Okay? But see, this will have, where you open it up, it'll have a pocket up here, because the pocket will be up top. And then you'll have a pocket here. Let's see, let's put a blank one in between. There we go. Pocket. It's my special one. Okay. The special one that we're going to make fold. A blank one. And another pocket. Okay? So that's how I want them layered. And then Zutter sells wires and packages similar to this. And I can either give you a 3/4 or the 3/4 inch wire like this, or a 1/4 inch, whoever wins this one. And okay, here we go. So here is this.
Sam, go get the bed.
Okay. And when Sam returns my scissors that I use for scrapbooking, my Tim Holtz scissors, we will be able to use those to cut this wire. But since I don't have those, I can cut it with my wire cutters. I'm not going to cut it with my really good scissors, because that would just make me sad. Yes. Oh, I do have my pink one. I wonder where my pink one is. Is my pink one up there? Thank you, Molly, for reminding me of my pink one. I do have a pink one. I have a cute little pink one, and it comes in a little pink fuzzy thing. But I'm not seeing it. It's not up here. And it's not in there. Well, I'm just using plain old scissors. This has 6 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, that's not going to do it. Hang on. Hang on, let me get some real cutters. Sing to yourselves, ladies. Bill? Bill? Do you have your utility scissors? Oh, here's some. Never mind. Here's some utility scissors. Okay, I found some utility scissors. Good night, Sam.
Good night.
Okay. There we go. Utility scissors will work. But here we go. Now, when assembling your book for the Zutter, take whatever's going to be your front cover. I'm looking at my pages trying to decide which one that is. Okay. And take the back cover, flip it over on top. And put your wires through there. And there's like a instruction manual that if you have one of these, it will tell you all about how to do that so that you do it properly. Now, this is going to be a nice, thick, chunky one. The first book I showed you was done with a smaller wire. But if you want the thicker wire, I will do the thicker wire for you.
What are you wearing?
A kit binder. What are you talking about, Raven? Mom has bind-it-alls in the store also, if you're looking. And I just closed it. And there we go. So, oops. You have this. And then what you could do here is take your circle punch and punch a circle so that it would be easy to get tags and stuff in and out of. Okay. And this one's just a plain one. And then this one is also a pocket again. This is a good size, so if you wanted to stick your ATCs in here, you could, you know, use your ATCs on there to, you know, decorate them with. And then this one, you could just stick it down, fold it, and it becomes just a special little pocket that you can pull stuff out of. Thanks, Bev. So, and with it being a wider wire, see this one has the smaller wire. This is the difference between the wires. Doing this one again, I probably would use the bigger wire. But I was out of the bigger wire when I made this, so I used the smaller wire. But this, you can now stuff it full of stuff. Make them really chunky pages and all that kind of stuff. So, whenever we draw for this one at the end, then you can tell me if you want chunky or skinny. Okay? So we have two. Can you stand to see more? Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. I'm glad you said yes. Okay. Can you see what I got? Yeah, right. Too many books. Ha ha ha. Now we have 3 mini books. Yes, name badge holders. Bill, how many dollars were the name badge holders for 12 of them? Sir? These were at the Walmart. How much were the name badge holders? Do you remember? Like a couple of bucks?
Something like that.
They were something like that. Okay. Mini name badge holders. These come in 2 varieties. You can get the ones that are like this. Or you can get the ones that are this way that have the stuff up here. These are my favorite thing that Walmart has. Okay. Okay, it's my second favorite thing. My husband's like, no, it's not. They have wine at our Walmart too. No. These have a little pocket here. Now, you know, I was telling you that I might do Flowery book with this one. I'm definitely doing a Flowery book with this one because you could put your specimens in here. You could flatten your flowers and stick them in there. Would that not be the coolest thing on the planet? You could play with the clearness of them so that they just kind of float in here. You know, like take a piece of acetate to build your page on and then have it float in here so that... Jen says her favorite thing at Walmart is Mike's Hard Lemonade, which I will have to give a 2 thumbs up to that, Jen. That is true, too. So, you know, you could have your image on acetate so that it floats in the book. Because, you know, acetate, like for transparencies, is not real heavy. What I love about these is look how soft these are. These are wonderful. For kids, use one at a time. Create a little card that goes in here that has, like, going on field trips and stuff, has their name, their teacher's name, how to contact, blah, blah, blah. But then on the outside, you could decorate them. You could, you know, jewel them up. You could stick little, whatchamacallits, flowers and all that kind of fun stuff on there. And then run your ribbon through the top. So, focus, people. We're back on this. Yes, these were in the office supply section. Again, do not go to the office supply store because at the office supply store, a package of 12 of these will cost you somewhere around $5. These are like, last time I purchased them, they were like $1.67. Bill wasn't paying real close attention when he bought them tonight, so I don't know. What I'm going to do for the book that I give away, I'm going to include like 6 pages and you'll be good to go. So, but we need a cover, right? So, what we're going to do is measure these because, of course, these do not say on there what their size is. Guys, it says that you might could get these at Walmart.com. See what they come up at Walmart.com. So, I'm just going to use 4 in my demo. And I'm going to use Bookboard, and I will send Bookboard to the person who wins. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I need 2 parts to this. I need a part to hold down, and then I need a flappy part. Okay? And you will appreciate this, Edie. I'm going to use a real scientific way of figuring out how big I want that to be. I'm going to look at it like this. And I'm going to find my pencil. Or my pen. Here's a pencil. And I'm going to go, okay, I want it to go this far out. I'm going to draw a line. So, yes, folks, I totally eyeballed that. Okay? So, and honestly, this piece that I cut off is probably going to be the perfect piece. That happens to be about 4 inches, guys, in case you're keeping up with numbers. For those of you who can't stand to eyeball. Okay? It's about 4 inches. Because I think these are probably big enough to fit a 3.5 by 3.5 card, and then by the time you crimp the edge around it. And ooh, I wonder, you could, if you had to, you could use your coaster and cut a finger's width off. Look at there. Okay, we're not doing that. We're using butt board. Okay. So.
Mama, I got something about extravaganza. Mama, I got something about extravaganza.
Okay, go get yourself in bed, please.
Could I bring it with extravaganza?
Yes, you can take it to the extravaganza.
Could I give it to Washer?
Yes, you can give it to Ross. Can you go so I can finish my stream? Say goodnight, princess.
I'm not a princess, I'm Sam.
Okay, goodnight, Sam. Okay, so these are 3 by 4. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this skinny side, which is about the width there. So 1/2 inch, okay? I'm going to cut 2 of those 4 inches long for my edges. Alright, so here's that. Alright, I still need to cut some more. Hang on. Before I get too carried away, let me finish my cutting. Okay. I have some more of this lovely paper. And I'm going to cut I don't know. How drunk do you have to be to wake up a penguin in your hotel room? It was on national news? Okay. I'm going to cut these 5 across. So that's plenty of room to go around. So yeah, I know, right? What? I'm going to cut these 5 by 5 for covers. It's a little bit bigger than it has to be, but it'll serve the purpose. Okay. Okay, totally random thought. I started talking to you about National Scrapbook Day, and then I forgot what I was doing. I was telling you about National Scrapbook Day because I wanted to remind you to get your raffle tickets for the big raffle. We're raffling off a Cricut Expressions 2, and you don't want to miss that. So now I'm going to grab my glue. And of course, my favorite glue for this, if I wasn't using my double stick tape or my my Xyron, it's going to be my Beacon 3-in-1. Yay! The crowd goes wild for Beacon! Woo! Okay. I gotta make sure y'all are awake, right? And I'm going to put this down. I'm going to use this as a shim for the width that I want to do it at. Okay. There we go. Edie, you're probably not going to find Beacon Glue at Walmart. Mommy sells Beacon Glue in her store at cutandpastememories.com. Beacon is my favorite adhesive other than my Xyron and Sakura and Miracle Tape. I don't know, because I always get mine at Mommy's store. I always call Mommy and say, Mommy, I need a Beacon. And, the Crafty Gig code will still get you, what was it, 15% off, I believe, in Mommy's store. You have to go all the way back to June watching my shows to find that. And I think June is on YouTube now. So, okay. Now, before I get all hyper about pulling off the paper, I'm going to show you how to miter a corner better. Okay, you ready? Ta-ta! Right? And see, I cut this a little big.
Mama,
Samantha Ray,
I knew how to
get
spell
in the bed.
I knew how to spell Mama.
I'm proud of you. Daddy is going to help you get into the bed.
That's what I got.
Yes. You can call Mommy. Mommy has it in her store. That's her name. Her name is Mommy. It's M-O-M-M-I-E, Liz. Because Leslie is L-E-S-L-I-E. And it was deemed that Mommy should be spelled M-O-M-M-I-E.
I need a drink again.
Okay. So see how much space I left around that? Okay. And this time, instead of, let's do it with the 1/8 inch. Why not? Let's go crazy. Okay. So we're going to use this tape. She is too excited to go to bed. I know. Extravaganza tomorrow. We all know. Go to bed.
Sam's go get into bed.
Me, Raven. Me. I called dibs on the bubble stamp. Me. Thanks, Molly. If you're on Facebook, Liz, Mommy's fan page is cutandpastememories.com, or Cut and Paste Memories, I believe. And she, you can inbox her if you have questions or need something special. And also, there should be an email address somewhere on the website that you can email her. So if you have special orders. What is Extravaganza? The Extravaganza is the shooting competition. It's the 4-H shooting competition. It's district-wide. And it's a pretty big deal. There will be lots of kids there. And they shoot all forms of shooting sports. There's trap shooting. There's ski shooting. There's shotguns. There's 22 light rifle. 22 small bore rifle. There's air rifle. There's longbow. There's compound bow. There's 3D targets. There's where they do what they call like a moving target shoot. There's silhouettes. There's all kinds. And then the kids are leveled off into seniors, intermediates, and juniors in each of those categories. It's tomorrow, Bev, and she needs to go to sleep. So, because we are leaving the house at 5:30. Liz, Paula, or P.S. Harris is my mommy, and she is in Arlington, Texas. Feel free to talk to her. She just came back into the room about getting stuff to you. So, see how that works, guys? Why we left that little flappy area. Okay? They were burning, Mommy. We were talking about Beacon, and we were talking about Bind It All. Yes, you sent me a Poke-Tool, Mama. I haven't opened everything. Sorry, I just grabbed my dental tool. I was running around like a crazy woman right up to the end of the show, or start of the show. What? Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, looky here, guys. We're going to get this one done. Yay, with time to spare. Yay. Hold on, this stuff. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. So see now, when you look at these corners where I mitered them correctly, and I can, if I was trimming better, I'm not in a hurry, there we go. If I was trimming better, you wouldn't see any white at all. But I was in a hurry with my trimming, sorry. There. That's a much better corner. So, alright. So now we have covers. And these, you will need to do something to the inside. Okay? So let me cut pieces of paper to go on the inside so it will be fashionable. I believe we decided that those were 4x3, so we want them to go in a little. There we go. There we go. So I went in a 1/4 inch each way. Did you hear me, Edie? 1/4 inch each way. Well, because it's in the same paper pack we were using earlier this week, Molly. You heard? Oh, good. Okay, so here is one. Yay. Here is 2. Now, to finish this off, you can either actually use the holes that they have. Okay, so that you're using these 2 holes and just run some ribbon in them and, you know, call it good. Or, let's see, I believe I do know where. If you know where your rubber bands are or a hairdoey or whatever, you can use that. And I'm using my Anywhere punch. You gone through my 3 rows of plastic I've indented here. This, no, this is a Japanese screw punch. This is a tool they use in bookbinding and in leatherworking. And this piece of bookboard is particularly ornery. Hi, Pam. What is the deal? Hang on, guys. Sorry. I normally do not have issue with my Japanese screw punch. There we go. There's my hole. I know, usually about 3 holes will do it. And you can also use ribbon through these 3 holes. But I'm going to measure where I want the holes here. Perhaps it's dull. What do you mean? Just because I cut holes and everything. Jeez. Usually it's not this tough. And Mommy is probably right. I probably need a new hole punch for it. A new bit. They come with bits that you can exchange out. Now, for my one that I want to do for flowers and stuff, probably what I will do is get 2 sticks and use that for my closure. Or do one on one side, one on the other. I'll explain that. But here are my pages. And just for ease, I'm checking to make sure they all open the same direction. So that will be easy for me later. And Bill, do you have a rubber band right over there? Sir? No? Okay, we'll use this. We'll use this, okay? It's a hair Dewey. It'll work. Or whoever wins it, true. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, well, see, I'm going to make me one too, Molly. This one is just a demoer. But and I'm just going to show you this real quick so you can see what the idea is. You can use a rubber band or you can use a hair Dewey, like I just did. And stick this through here. Let's pretend I've done them through. I want to show you how to do this closure, and then we'll actually close it with a piece of ribbon. That's what I'm going to actually use. You take your rubber bands or your hair thingies and you poke it through. So you have this side. And pretend this is a stick, okay? This would also be cute for a school book with pencils if you wanted to actually use a pencil. Now, pull this through. And I'm poking him through this side also. So it goes all the way through. It's through over here. Okay. And slide this over. You could do this with anything. You could do this as a closure. Now, can you see? You can do this as a closure for any kind of book, like this. If you did it for both sides, I would recommend not using a hair Dewey. I would recommend using like a rubber band. I'm doing one side and then pulling this over to the side and threading it through the other direction. Pulling it through so you can slide those puppies in there so that you have two sticks on either side or whatever. But wouldn't that be cute as a little school one? Make the pencil, like sharpen one end of the pencil, have the eraser on there. Make it short enough for crayons to be your closure. Or sticks out of the woods, whatever. Okay, so that's one way to make that closure. It's one of my favorite ways to make that closure. That's why I wanted to show you it. However, through the magic of television, we're going to do it a different way. Because I want to do it a different way. I want to use this lovely ribbon that I've been making pretty little flowers with. My scissors are all sticky. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to go down. Thanks, Fidette. That's what I like to show is, show you one idea, but, expound on the possibilities, because this could be all kinds of things. And see, you could put other stuff in here. You wouldn't have to have it all clear. You could have it have other goodies as well. Did you want to throw up the this is just a dental tool. I think I got a bunch of them at Harbor Freight. And it's not doing a very good job because it keeps poking through the thread right now. It was good for grabbing it through the board book, but right now it's poking it through. There we go. Well, I was going to ask Dawn to put that link up, but I guess Dawn is going away. Maybe Amanda can put that link up of where to get your raffle tickets. Can you say it again? Like at Harbor Freight. Yeah, they have like a set of, they're not real special dental tools. You could use just a pokey tool. Like a regular pokey tool. This came in a set with like 3 or 5 at Harbor Freight. And I'm just using it for poking. Would it be good for sculpting? Maybe. No, it's good for poking. No, this is totally poking through the ribbon. That's why I keep having to, I mean, this end of the ribbon, I'll show you in a minute when I get it all the way through, is totally frayed. I totally frayed it with this tool. Thank you, Amanda. The link Amanda just gave you is to the raffle tickets. Oh, and Molly gave a link too. Sorry, Molly, I didn't see that one go by. Anyway, if you get to the Odd Show Live fan page, there's a button that says buy your raffle tickets or something like that. And that's definitely where you want to get them. Okay, got these all through. See, I totally boogered the end of the ribbon with that tool. Not really a tool you would normally use. Yes. Yes, I do, Edie. We call that a dry emboss tool. And yes, I have one of those. Why weren't you here 5 minutes ago when I was grabbing for something, Edie? It's for doing dry embossing. That would have totally been the better option, Edie. Yes, it has a name. Okay, so do that, and then if you want to make a bow, you can, but we have ribbon, okay? And so now when you open it, it's your little book of pockets. La la! Okay? So we're going to give that one away too. Okay, so hang on with me for a minute. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to, well, first, before I close this, I'm going to announce who the winner is to my Scrappy Challenge, and then I'll come back and draw for prizes. We won't have the prizes on the recording since everybody can't have a prize, right? So, all right. Oh, thank you, Bev. Okay. The winner of the Scrappy Challenge, and let me put my thingy up for the Scrappy Challenge again. It will be no surprise to you. The winner for the Scrappy Challenge for this third month, challenge number 3, is, drumroll, Raven. Because Raven stuck the course and kept yelling at me, hey, we haven't gotten the thing up, which is so true, and thank you very much, Raven. I appreciate you doing that, because Raven's page is really cool. What she did is she has it where you open it, and then you open it again, and you open it again. It's really cool. You need to go check it out. And Edie, we have a Scrappy Challenge, and each month we have a new Scrappy Challenge. I do my Scrappy show once a month, and that new challenge will start tonight, and I'm going to do better this time, Raven. I've actually, I have my thing ready to go. So, the Scrappy Challenge for this month is going to be a mini. Do a mini album. And it doesn't have to focus on your kid. It could be anything. It could be a mini little art journal. It could be a little inspiration album. It could be, you know, your favorite things you find along the roadside and take pictures of it. You know, it could be anything. Anything. And so, make yourself a mini album. It does not have to be one of my 3. You can play with a squash book. Yes, Edie. All you do is you get up to 4 entries, and the significance of the number 4 is because I'm trying to scrapbook a page a week. Right now, honestly, I can tell you I'm behind. I'm so ashamed. I'm behind. But I'm hoping next month is going to be better because it's just how it is. You go to my blog, and I will post a new one for this month, and it will go up tonight before the Mother's Day blog hop that goes up in the morning. Okay, and there will be a link on my blog, and you go and you put your picture of your mini album that you create on there, and you can do up to 4. It just needs to be a mini. You can incorporate it into a scrapbook page if you want to, or you can make it just a mini album by itself. Oh, it's necessary for me to have time to do this, Raven. So Raven, what you won is a grab bag from Cut and Paste Memories. Mom always puts together a really cool goodie bag. Last time, because it was a stamp challenge, it was stamps. Because Raven was the only person to enter, Raven wins it. So, you know, next time, let's get some more entries. Amanda usually plays along, but I know I was late, and Amanda is a busy girl too. So, let's give Raven a run for her money. Right now, she's 2 for 3. So, but I appreciate it, Raven. You really, really, really make it special for me because I want people to be involved and do this. So, we have that. Don't forget, most of my fun stuff I get through cutandpastememories.com. And you can get special orders with her as well. On the 2nd and 4th Fridays of the month, I do Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig. So my next Crafty Gig will be on next Friday, the 27th, I believe. And I told you about my Scrappy Challenge. And don't forget, I am a proud member of The Odd Show. We do daily shows at noon in the Paper Mood room. And our I need to change this slide. Goodness gracious. Our actual thing is theoddshowlive.blogspot.com. And then we do a random reboot once a week. I'm not going to announce which day because I haven't looked at the calendar this week for what's coming up. But I will do one. It won't be Thursday. It won't be Friday. So that just kind of leaves Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And then we have special events. And our big event that's coming up for The Odd Show is National Scrapbook Day Live Extravaganza, Saturday, May 5th. Scrapbook Day is going to be celebrated all over the world. And we are going to be no different. We are going to have lots of fun. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. plus. We have lots and lots of giveaways. We have downloadable freebies. We have wonderful guests. And we are giving away a Cricut Expressions 2. And the cool thing about that is that with the raffle tickets you buy to win that, you're helping the Charity Wings organization. And your $5 donation will help them help good causes such as Big Brothers Big Sisters, City of Hope, Crafting for the Cure. And so the proceeds from all the tickets you buy go to that. Now, if you're saying to yourself, I already have a Cricut and I don't want a Cricut, but I'd still like to help, go ahead and buy raffle tickets. If you win it, give it back. Pay it forward. It's a good thing. So, and then more recently, I told you I'm going to be in a hop. I'm in 2 hops this weekend. One I'm participating in, which starts tomorrow morning, is a Mother's Day hop. And it starts on Nicolette's blog, but you'll see my post up in just a little bit. And then the other, actually you'll see it up in the morning. She does hers early in the morning. The other hop is my own that I'm hosting, and it's an Earth Day hop. And we have altogether 15 people participating. It's awesome. These are amazing, amazing artists, and I can't wait to see what they do. They're upcycled crafts, and it's going to be really, really cool. Lots of cool things to learn about, and you know, please come by my blog, leslieray.blogspot.com. If you're a fan, it'll be all over the fan page. I know the people who are playing with us are going to be all over that, so please come by. And I thank you for coming. I'm going to close the show, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to draw my 3 winners for the little kits. So, here we go.